Hi ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you like my diatribes, please subscribe to the channel. So in this one we're going to talk about the reality of mass deportations as proposed by Restore Britain primarily. So I think we can discount reform at this point because they're just being infiltrated and they're just useless and is basically an extension or safety valve of the Uni Party. Right, so mass deportations, right. So Rupert Lowe is talking about potentially removing quite a large number of people from the country, right? It all seems very well and good. Then this gets into a bit of the whole sort of ethno-nationalist territory as well, whereby they think that the British Isles should remain mostly white British. And I can tell you now, it's a pipe dream. There are something like, I think, 4 million odd Muslims alone in the UK. I don't know how many Sikhs there are. I don't know how many other non-white groups are in the UK. I could probably look it up and things like that. The point I'm getting at here is there are like millions of these people that are not white, okay? So let's just take, say, the Muslims alone, right? So I think there's maybe about 3-4 million in the UK, and Rupert Lowe's talking about like removing so many, like millions must go. Do you know what I mean? So you consider the capacity of a Boeing 747, right? So if he wants to remove even say 500,000 people, right? 500,000 people that need to go, right? So how many flights is he going to have to put on deportation flights? How long is that going to take? That could take, to remove 500,000 people, that could take years. That's not a simple process. And what you've got to remember is that he'll be facing legal challenges, like the sifting would be like, could you imagine, right? Even he tried to deport say 10,000 people, right? And then they all bring up legal challenges. I mean, there's people being allowed to stay in this country, right? There's a case where a guy was allowed to stay in the country, a criminal that should have been deported because his kid didn't like the taste of chicken nuggets out with the UK. Right, so that's one case, right? One. So you consider, like, say, even 10,000 people that he wants to remove, and they're going to bring up legal challenges and barriers, and if you can even find them in the first place, do you know what I mean? And just think of the logistics of all this. The logistics is crazy. How long would it take to deport even 1,000 people? 1,000 people. That would even that would be a total logistical nightmare. I'm sorry about the camera here, guys, right? But it's not realistic in the slightest. So if you consider even higher numbers, it's never going to happen. Never. It is not logistically possible. It's just not possible. One other point, right? Even if by some miracle it was possible, right? You consider your corner shops, your off licences. Who are these shops mostly staffed by? It's mostly non-whites, like Muslims, Pakistanis, and things like that. That staff the majority of these corner shops, these off licences, mini marts, like no, I wouldn't class them supermarkets, but you know what I'm talking about, right? If you were to go about deporting large numbers of these people, right, on the ethno-nationalist kind of policies and things like that, your economy would go to hell in a handbasket, because who would you get to staff these shops? Do you know what I mean? If you were to just be on a process of constant deportations, do you know what I mean? Like year after year, uh, even if it was like logistically considering, right, just saying best case scenario that it was logistically possible, which it's not, right, it's not going to happen, right? But if it was in some large number, right, your shops and all that would be like the economy would go to hell basically. Do you know what I mean? It just wouldn't be possible to like remove that many people from the country and still have like a proper functioning economy. That's one thing you've got to think of as well as the fact that we are going to become a minority, as I've harped on about in a few videos now, and there's no stopping it. Do you know what I mean? It can't be done. We're like, I'd mentioned this in a previous video that I'd done, that we're like 80 years or something behind in terms of replacing ourselves and like actually growing our numbers, rather than just like keeping it like constant at like a level at which we can remain a majority. So these are some of the things that you ethno-nationalists and mass deportation supporters need to think about. Thanks for watching.